We are back again for another fun-filled episode of the Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. Hooray! Now, this particular episode, I understand, is going to air just before Christmas. So, let's have a little bit of a Christmas theme. Not that we haven't had enough Christmas theme with all the parades and the omnibus, all the good stuff like that I do. But inside the depths of Randyland is a few little hidden secrets. And I know people love those little dirty hidden secrets. You know, it's like you're on the in because you're on this channel. You see? Smart people. Well, having worked at, Disney, I was able to acquire a lot of things that were special, including some Christmas things. A lot of Christmas decor they use themselves year after year, and then they update things, and some things get, moved out. But so do other large places, including Atlantic City. So Atlantic City has big casinos, and they are actually like theme parks. They're just gambling-themed theme parks. So they do a lot of events and things of this nature. So oddly enough, a friend of mine, this has got to be going back 20 years, sent me a message that he saw somebody was advertising on some social media thing that he had a warehouse he wanted to clear out, and anything you wanted, he was giving you for free. So he thought of me like for free if there was anything, I wanted there. He just wanted to get it out because it pays to, you have to pay to throw things out. So if anything's good, you don't want to throw it out. You don't want to waste it. So I went over to look, and they had a bunch of stuff that they had used in the casinos, probably for some kind of show event for Christmas time or whatever. So they had a bunch of Christmas trees. Well, the average person picks up a Christmas tree or, maybe two, but I got the forest. So I filled a box truck filled with Christmas trees. The price was right. It cost me my time, my effort, and the rental of a truck, and a lot of scrapes and bruises along the way because Christmas trees aren't exactly friendly to move. But they were artificial Christmas trees, of course, not real Christmas trees because they would just be firewood by long ago. So I got the Christmas trees, and I figured what a perfect backdrop that would be for my animated show within Randyland. So up at the top, you have to look beyond the things because this is why people miss a lot of stuff. You will see a forest of Christmas trees, and they're all up there, and they are very delicately displayed and placed. And trust me when I tell you, it was very difficult to get them up there. But, you have to have your Christmas tree forest. So up there is a forest of Christmas trees. But they go around over here, they go around over there, they're behind the jukeboxes, they're behind me and my drum set, and all the good things piled deep. So I guess someday we can get lost in the forest, just like Hansel and Gretel. We can drop little breadcrumbs along the way and see if Blackie the cat will find us. I don't know, one of these good things. But, also back at Disney, I picked up some garlands that were made of artificial Christmas tree type of material, like the branches and the leaves. So I used them to decorate under my Panther cars. And they cover the sins as you do decoration. You don't want to see the track guides or anything like that on a display if you can help it. So you cover that with some type of pleasant to the eye things, and of course we use the Christmas tree garlands without any decorations on them because it's not always Christmas in Randyland. It comes but once a year. So we have our Christmas tree garlands at the bottom of the Panther cars, and people are saying, where are those Panther cars from? Well, you see, you got to tell another secret when you're talking about Christmas trees. This is how one thing leads to another, and you never run out of things to say. These are actually Philadelphia toboggan cars. Now, the Philadelphia Turnpike was made by the Philadelphia Toboggan Company, and they also made ski balls and they made roller coasters, but they made the Philadelphia Turnpike ride, which was a big ride when I was a kid back many, many moons ago, and I used to ride it in Seaside Heights at the Funtown Amusement Pier. They had a beautiful setup. They had one here in Wildwood also. They had several of them across the country in different parks that had purchased it. And the one in Seaside was the one I always went on when I was a kid. As a matter of fact, I hurt my ankle one time because the operator pushing the jog button, you know, those people who have run this type of ride know what a jog button is on the operator's control console. When the car pulls into the home stretch for loading and unloading, it's dead track. It's not energized. So they have a button that just energizes the track momentarily to jog the car up to the next position. So as the car is stopped, I'm getting out of the car, the guy, young teenage kid with acne who's there probably, you know, after he had a party the night before, pushes the jog button and the car jerks forward and slams into my ankle. So I ended up at the doctor the next few days, you know, wrapped up in an ace bandage and all that stuff from the Philadelphia Turnpike jog button. Be that as it may be, I oddly enough, kind of ended up with the very cars that I rode in as a kid. Now, I didn't buy them from Seaside. It's very, very odd. I got them from Eldridge Park in upstate New York. And they're just off of Elmira in that area up there. And they had these cars in storage. A friend of mine wanted me to buy the park. I had gone up there to look at the park with my parents, but the park was beyond purchase because the property was owned by the county. There was some issue with it. There was contamination with the lake. So it was a problem. You weren't going to be able to reopen the park. And they had a big wooden roller coaster that was in much need of repair because the wood had been deteriorating and it had sunk in the ground. So I wasn't able to buy the park, but they had some leftover rides in storage buildings that they sold, and I bought the ride. Oddly enough, when I got it back and I got the track also, the track which is hiding under the floor that we are standing on, I built the floor on top of the track so that I had a place to put the track without taking up extra space. So if I ever need it, I just have to lift the floor panel so I can get my track. Ingenious, right? So the track had written on it in paint, Funtown, which means that that track was used at Funtown Pier in Seaside Park, which is just off of Seaside Heights over the borderline, and the very track that I rode on. Now, were they the same cars? I would think chances are pretty good that they got the cars along with the track, and whether they're the identical cars or they use them for parts or mix them in, I don't know. But for all intent and purposes, it's most likely the very cars that I rode on, so I got them also. So we're getting into big tangents. We're talking about Christmas. So Merry Christmas. There's my Christmas garland. There's my Christmas trees. But you might have noticed all the Christmas wreaths that I had on my omnibuses. Well, those Christmas wreaths very fittingly fit on the Main Street Omnibus, which is from Walt Disney World in Florida, because the Christmas wreaths are also from Walt Disney World in Florida. They were used in the resort hotels and the theme parks back in the period when I was a guest. When I started working there, they started phasing out some of the earlier equipment they had, and they were buying some new replacements. I bought the ones that were available that were used from the times of Christmases that I were there. So those wreaths, I can't tell you that wreath was used in the Contemporary, that wreath was used in the Polynesian, but back in my day, there only were two main hotels, the Contemporary and the Polynesian. Later came the Golf Resort, which became Shades of Green, but it would have been before that that these wreaths were used. So they were either used in the theme parks or in the resort hotels, Contemporary or Polynesian, or swapped around, because I'm sure if they needed particular things for a certain area, they would get it out of their stockpile because they have warehouses, which they use this stuff for with worldwide deployment. It's a big world within its own. So the Christmas wreaths that are on the omnibuses are from Walt Disney World in Florida. And I guess we'll end with the Happy Christmas wreaths, and we'll see you next time on the fabulous Main Street Randyland YouTube channel. Bye, guys.